Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the rebirth, the revitalization, the return, if you will, of the Speaking Nerd podcast. Uh, was that good?
Yeah.
um, for those that don't know, and some of you might remember, back on the old main channel that I had, I attempted a podcast for myself, and let's just say it didn't really go well. I didn't really have a lot of people to talk to, and I was just kind of late on topics as a whole. So I put it on hold, and I thought for this new channel, I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to bring the podcast back. We're as an audio podcast, so this isn't live. And I thought for the hell of it, I'll just bring a friend of mine along to talk about whatever. And that friend of mine we have here today is Josh, aka Swfte. How's it going, my man?
I'm all right. I'm glad to be here. I haven't done a podcast with you in like a month, maybe 2 months. I have no idea how long it's been.
Yeah, it's been like I want to say 2 months, and even with that podcast, we didn't end up using it anyway. So,
Yeah.
so
Oh man.
but
But
anyway,
yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm excited to be here and talk about the topics you have planned.
yeah. All right. So speaking of that, the topic that we have for today's podcast is all about DC fandom. So for
Yes.
those who aren't in the loop, about a month or so, or maybe like it's about a month or
Almost
two.
it'll be 2 months this October.
Right. So yeah, about that time, DC announced a huge live stream event for fans called DC Fandome, where it's basically talking about all their announcements for movies, TV shows, comic books, whatever have you, any medium that they were a part of, basically got an announcement. Um, and it was, we'll get into it as we go along the list, but depending on the announcement, it had some varied to a degree. Some were, pretty great, and others were just kind of meh. But anyway, I have a list here of all the major announcements. I want to say all the ones that stuck out to me. Some of which, you know, some of which are for those of you who are fans of a certain topic. You might be excited to hear what we think about it or whatever. So I have day one. Day one here is all in order. Day two, I couldn't really find a good list order. Like they didn't really have any. I looked everywhere online, and uh, they didn't have it in order for some reason. So it's going to be pretty much all random. We might group some day two announcements along with some day one stuff. But anyway, uh, uh, let's just get along with it. For our first on the list, we have the second Wonder Woman trailer for Wonder Woman 84, which I mean, I thought it was all right. I'm excited for the movie, but I feel like with this trailer, it wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
There just wasn't a lot there to, really boost up my hype for it. I was still excited anyway, but they had, for most of it, it was pretty much, just kind of by the numbers, I would say for most trailers. But
Yeah.
how'd you feel about it overall?
I kind of felt like it was. I think they showed everything they could in the first trailer.
Yeah.
That the second trailer kind of felt like they were just kind of rehashing it, just showing different scenes of like similar topics.
Yeah, I just feel like they kind of just blew their load too hard on that first trailer, and while they were scrambling to get that second trailer made, they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the big takeaway, it just kind of spoiled the movie, didn't it? Like it just
Yeah.
because I could feel like watching that trailer. I was like, this was supposed to be meant for, the for when the movie does come out and
Right.
people when they do see it in theaters. But because because of all that's happening in the world, they needed something to excite everybody. So it's just like, oh, we're gonna throw Cheetah in here. And I
Right.
mean, granted, she looks cool. Like
Hmm.
she looks like Cheetah, and I mean, there's not really much to say about that. So,
Right.
how'd you feel about the overall look of Cheetah?
I think she looks. I mean, I think it looks true to the comics, but it it looked like really CGI-ish. I mean, I know it has to be CGI, but like to me at least, you could really tell like there was some like cartoony things going on for me anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind
I
of
mean,
looks like no, you can
yeah,
finish. You're
yeah.
good.
I mean, what I got about was basically she was just an extra on Cats, and they
Yeah,
just
exactly right.
put her in this one.
I mean, I hope it's the right move for I think it might be putting Cheetah in the Wonder Woman movies. I just want to see them use the character right and not just like throw her in as like she's the villain for one movie. So
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing I'm worried about with this movie in particular is its villains because I mean that was kind of an issue for me with the last Wonder Woman film was like there wasn't really any solid villains to really
yeah,
attach yourself to. I mean, you got I forget her name, Dr. Poison, and I mean she
yeah,
was in the movie for a whole like 5 minutes, so
yeah,
like she didn't really do much. And then you got Ares at the very end, and I mean that was just kind of dumb.
yeah.
It's just
They just kind of threw him in.
yeah, it's just like it's like we've been talking about it the whole movie. It's like, oh, just have that British guy we were talking to earlier. Just throw him in some battle armor and you know tell him to say stuff.
Yeah,
It's like it wasn't really compelling to me. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah, Cheetah looks all right. It definitely looks unfinished. Like they'll definitely put more work into it by the time the movie does come out. Uh,
yeah,
Maxwell Lord though is an interesting choice.
yeah. I was kind of surprised that they picked him.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I mean, I'm not really a Maxwell Lord fan. I don't really know much about him besides like his death, which I mean is by the hands of Wonder Woman. But I mean,
Right.
I'm curious to see what they do with that character and
Yeah.
I mean, I knew like you for Cheetah, like she could probably headline her movie herself, but I mean, it's good to have that other villain in there. And
Right.
from the looks of it right now, he's pretty much the only interesting villain to look forward to. I don't know how you feel about that, but
Yeah. I would say that I think that Cheetah, if she's done well, it'll be nice to watch because I don't really know anything about what they're trying to do with her.
you know,
But Maxwell's, I'm interested to see what his motivation is. So
yeah, yeah, me too. I'm really curious to see what they do with him, but
yeah,
but overall, I would say it's a fine trailer. There's nothing
yeah, it
too
was decent.
special. Yes, not too special, and it's worth a watch just for the
Yeah.
hell of it. Okay, next up on the list, Gotham Knights. So if you haven't been paying attention to the Batman games and the rumors that have been circulating for like the last like 4 or 5 years on what
Yeah.
W Montreal, what they've been doing in general with Batman, and you know, yeah, after watching that initial trailer, I was actually kind of surprised that they were daring enough to do a Batman game without Batman.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Well, I don't think that. Well, I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I'm leaning more on the side of Batman's not dead, but he's still not going to be in the game. So I do think it's ballsy of them to make a game about the Bat family, especially with Jason Todd, who kills, but I guess in this game he's not killing, apparently, is what they said, which is
Yeah.
interesting. I would have rather him killed to see the dynamic of how his ways of, law go upon Batgirl and Robin and Nightwing. But they didn't do it, so, but it looks, I was surprised at how much I actually was excited for it when it initially dropped. Because seeing the trailer was cool, but then seeing the gameplay was even better. And I didn't think they were going to show gameplay.
Yeah, and I didn't think so either. I just kind of figured it would be like just a CG trailer, like a small 2-minute CG trailer, just to get an idea of what the game is going to be. And I mean, we did get that, and then when they showed off gameplay, I was surprised. Like I was assuming they were going to show that off at a later date, and until then, just kind of keep us guessing on how the game actually works. But they did show it off, and I mean, I'm interested. I really am interested. I mean, it's not the Arkham formula as we know it, but there are like some bits and elements taken from there, done differently. So I mean, I'm curious to see what they do with those elements, and also what they do differently from the Arkham games. So.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're kind of like paving the way for future installments so that they can now make their mark on the Batman video game franchise. So let's say this game goes over really well, then they'll be able to make sequel after sequel, whatever. And then, 10, 15 years from now, who knows, there could be like another reboot of the WB Montreal trilogy or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to put my, expectations hugely, sky through the roof, but my hopes are high. So, and I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm in the same boat where it's just like they showed enough to get me interested and excited, but I want to see more of it before I fully just kind of go into that world of like, oh, like it's going to be, like it's most anticipated game of the year. So,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much all we just say. It's a good time. Like it's a good trailer and some really nice gameplay. So definitely check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have some info about the Flashpoint movie.
Oh yeah. Right. I forgot about that.
So I marked down a couple of notes here. So first up, this was announced, I think, the day before DC Fandome, day one. Like
it was like 1 or 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman, which I mean, none of us saw that coming. So
I was like totally like dead when that happened. I was like, what?
I was looking through that article, reading about that, and it's like they had to pull up with like a dump truck of money or something to get him back in there, because by the time they finished Justice League, he did not like care to do another one. No. But it was shocking to see his name officially back as Batman.
Are you excited that he's back for one last movie, in hopes that it'll be a good movie because it's Flash?
To an extent. I mean, I'm excited. For. I mean, I think most of the people, especially Snyder fans and all that, like they're excited to just see him in the movie. I'm excited to see him do the character like justice, because I mean, if you look back at Batman v Superman, and I mean, not really Justice League, like they did some stuff with that character that like it just didn't work. Like the fact that he in BVS was just a full-blown murderer. Like there was just no question about it.
Yeah. I hate people that try and defend it too. They're like, oh, well, he had reasons, or like, it's a different variation. Like, dude, don't matter to me. I want Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he has one rule and he can't seem to follow that one rule. So
It's like he's trigger happy almost. He kills so much in the movie. Like, he just can't stop. He thinks it's so fun.
yeah, I mean, the part where he's literally machine gunning like an SUV down to basically nothing, I was like, you had to know that he had a smile on his face the whole time he was doing that.
And like the bat branding thing was like so immoral, man.
It's such a weird idea. Like, it's just, why?
I couldn't watch it and like not feel bad for like the people who died with it on in the prison.
Yeah.
And like there's that deleted scene where the guy like gets stabbed to death in the prison basketball court. I was like, why would you? What is wrong with you, Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Or Zack Snyder, rather. Not Ben Affleck.
Snyder,
yeah, I'm excited as well for that, to see it done justice, if it actually is going to get done justice. I have no idea what the director's planning.
Yeah, I have no idea. I hope, because I think I read that, you know, a lot of what he's doing with Batman in this movie is all, you know, his, you know, ideas and his input. So hopefully he can, you know, change, basically do Batman differently and hopefully do it right. But
well, that's the only issue with every Batman iteration, is that the director always thinks that it has to be their like vision of Batman, when they should just look at the comics and look what fans want. Rather than it being their vision, they should make it the fans' vision.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's business. So
yeah, it's just, I mean, that's just how it, like, it's just creative, you know, bullshit in Hollywood. So
it's never about the fans.
Yeah,
but,
no.
I mean, at this point, I'm used to it. The one thing about Marvel that I totally respect is a lot of what they do is for fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, movie wise, at least from what I extract from them.
Yeah, you're right on that front. Where it's just like they really do listen to the fans, and you know, the fan, like, you know what you're going to get when you see a Marvel movie, and it's literally exactly what fans, most of the time, I would say, usually. That's what fans wanted to, like, that's what they want to see, and for the most part they get it right. So I mean, I don't know why DC is having such a hard time. I mean, why they had such a hard time doing that, but I mean,
I blame Jeff Johns personally. Like, I mean, Zack Snyder really messed it up, but then once he left, you know, Jeff Johns had complete control, and he just like drove it into the ground, man. I was really disappointed too, because Jeff Johns is a great Batman writer for comic books.
He's a great writer in general. Like if you read his Green Lantern stuff, like it's pretty extraordinary what he's done with that character.
Oh yeah, but it's just, I guess, like I heard someone say that, you know, sometimes if you have a comic book writer, keep them on the page and not on the big screen. You know, they're two completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, sometimes comic book writers are going to write a really bad movie, and sometimes, you know, movie makers, directors, and screenwriters are going to write a really bad book.
Yeah.
So, it's never guaranteed.
Yeah, it's such a weird transition. I mean, as much as we like seeing, you know, comic writers and people who've been in that industry get involved with the movies, is just some instances where it's you just kind of wish they weren't there at all.
I mean, but yeah, I'm excited too for Michael Keaton, especially.
Oh man,
more so than Affleck by far.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Keaton over Affleck. I mean, more just on the fact that I love Keaton's Batman, even though they do stuff with that character.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's not good at all if you're a Batman fan. If you know the character, then if you watch the two Keaton movies. It's
I
just
still like it, even though I'm a Batman fan. I still like them a lot.
yeah.
I mean, that was like one of my first introductions to the character,
Hmm.
and it's a different approach, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it too is like when those movies were made, it was a time way before the internet. Like people, their voices. There wasn't really a way to get voices heard to like a studio, like not like
Mm-hmm.
you could tweet about something on Twitter like for a movie or whatever, and you know they might listen and actually change it, but back then there really wasn't anything like it, and
Right.
the fact that as different as those movies were, like I mean that was just a product of that time. So, and I feel like a lot of people just kind of forget about that with when they're talking about that interpretation of Batman. But,
Yeah.
um I know we didn't really get a good look at it, but just from what you saw in the concept art, what do you think of Ezra's costume?
Actually, I don't even remember what it looks like. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah,
You can go first because I gotta look this up.
I mean,
So
there's really not a lot there. It's mostly like covered in shadow, and like there really isn't a whole lot to see. But I will say, from what I do see, it looks, to me at least, it looks better than Ezra's Justice League costume.
mm.
But I mean, hopefully at some point we get a full look at it, and I'm. I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Yeah, I see it.
yeah, it's just there's
It's the
nothing.
one with. Is it the one with Keaton's Batman in the back?
Yeah,
I definitely like it more than the Justice League suit because it's sleeker and it has like sort of like a matte look almost.
yeah,
I love it. I like the. I think that if it turns out good, I'll love it. The picture is not like you said, it's shadowed a lot, so there's not much to look at.
yeah. No,
But
there's really nothing to see from it.
yeah,
But what we do see from the line work, and even the color of the suit, like it looks vastly better than the Justice League one. Which, I mean, the Justice League suit is fine, but it's just I was never really a fan of the whole.
it's just a real modern looking suit.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's modern. I don't really get. I really don't like the idea of Flash in armor. Like, just
yeah,
it doesn't work for that character. But
yeah,
uh, I mean, I'm interested to see what they do with this new costume, and hopefully we get a look at it pretty soon.
yeah. I want to see it.
But
Because
last little thing I want to talk about before we move on to
Mhm.
the next thing. They put out a statement talking about, because I think a fan asked about the Crisis cameo,
Oh yeah,
whether it was canon to the movie or not, and I think they said it was. So I mean
great.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool if you're
Hmm.
if you watch the CW stuff, and the fact
Yeah,
that they are going to acknowledge it as that's the reason why he has his name. Like, I mean, it's a pretty neat detail, because usually when they
yeah,
do stuff like this, like they just kind of forget about that entirely.
Yeah.
So the fact that they are going to acknowledge it is pretty nice. But what do you think? Did you watch the crossover? Did you?
I did. I saw like the couple episodes with Batgirl,
Mhm.
and then I watched the Flash part way later, but I did see it, and it was really interesting that they actually did that because like you would never expect them to cross over TV shows with film that are completely different actors and stories. So I was surprised, and I was kind of happy because it gives them more room to now, like, you can pick and choose whatever DC movie you want and like bring it into the universe.
Yeah, the walls are basically down, and now they can actually do creative stuff with those universe. And I mean, it was weird to me seeing that the first time, because even when the DC EU started, there was so much like they made a Suicide Squad team for the CW stuff, but then once the movie was announced, they pretty much just killed those characters, and they never referenced it again. And the fact that they did something colossal like that, and it pretty much opened the door for uh, more crossovers and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm glad. So.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Anyway, next is the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. They had a mini trailer showing off the whole cast. Some of them were returning from the last Suicide Squad movie, but a bunch of them were just brand new, like brand new characters. And I'm really excited to see what they do with those. But what do you think overall?
Well, there wasn't much to see, but I'm excited for the new characters a lot because it's fresh and it doesn't feel like a gloomy, like, I don't know, just a gloomy, long, depressing movie that I felt like Suicide Squad was. I know some DCEU fans really like it, but I'm not one of the people that, like, I'll watch it maybe, but I'm not, like, into it really.
Yeah, it was one of those movies where, like, first viewing, like, it was a good time. Like, I enjoyed it when I first saw it in theaters. But the more that I look back on it, and the several times that I've watched it since, it just lost its luster to me. And I for what I see it now as a very dark and grim movie that they massacred into a fun romp to match it up with the trailers. But overall, I'm excited with the new cast. Seeing everybody in their bright, colorful comic costumes was, it's actually a nice change of pace considering the DC extended universe. And I'm excited for some of the new characters. I mean, you got like Idris Elba, John Cena, like.
Yeah, John Cena. I was so like surprised that he was actually in it.
Yeah, and also you got like super obscure characters like the
Polka Dot Man,
the Thinker, like the Flash villain. Like, it was just it looks like it's gonna be a really fun time, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad too that God, how am I forgetting his villain name? The guy replacing Deadshot. What the heck is his villain name?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Bloodshot or something, maybe?
Something like
something with blood, I think. But I'm really happy that he's in the movie. I really liked Will Smith, but again, they didn't do too much with his character. So I want to see this guy like bring something new to the table because he's a really good actor, and he should be able to, if proper directing's done, then it'll be great. But the good thing about all these DC movies too is that they're all coming out relatively soon. I mean, like the Flash movie, when's that coming out? 2022, right?
I want to say 2022. I mean, a whole bunch, like, they're all delayed anyway, but I want to say like within the next couple of years they'll be out. I think Wonder Woman is actually 2021 if I'm not mistaken, but
really, it got pushed back that far.
Wow.
This is crazy.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what James Gunn does with Suicide Squad.
Me too.
I'm a fan of his. I mean, besides his Guardians movies, if you've watched the Belko Experiment, Super is another good one. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what he does with this property. But,
me too.
Yeah. Okay. Next on our list, Snyder Cut. So the Snyder Cut, which was, I mean, we'd be here all day if I told everybody the whole story on this.
You know what?
Phenomenon.
I think it's been out for so long that if you don't know the story, then you were like just born like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Because, like, this has been going on since 2017, since the movie came out. Basically, it's been a thing.
Yeah, I want to say it's like right after the movie, the Justice League movie came out. It was just like, it's like this is not what was promised to us. It's like we want Zack Snyder's vision, like his true vision, and this went
Right.
on for years. And overall, I mean, just to get that out of the way, like I thought it was just like it was a really dumb thing. Like there were so many people. I mean, I'm sure there were some people, like some Snyder Cut people, who were really nice and genuine people, but a lot of them were just rabid and awful people that,
Yeah,
I mean, don't even deserve to see the Snyder Cut. Like just
yeah.
it was,
People were too hostile about it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the perfect word to describe it. It's just like too many rabid fans
Mm-hmm.
dreaming of something that at the time, like, we didn't think it was going to happen, but then
No.
lo and behold, Zack Snyder's Justice League just right on HBO Max, and
Mm-hmm.
we got a teaser for it at DC Fandom, and overall I enjoyed it to a degree.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it wasn't really anything new that we saw
No.
much. I mean, there was a couple little things, but I'm hoping because it's going to be like, what is it, like 4 hours, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
1 hour episodes a
yeah,
week or something.
4 1-hour episodes, which there's also an option that you can watch the whole thing in full at the whole
Yeah.
4 hour movie. So, oh geez. But
If I can do that. I mean, Endgame was 2 hours or 3 hours and 2 minutes, and that was really long.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I like 4 hours. That's geez. It's like
I might just watch it in the episodes. Like, I think it's smart that they're doing it that way too, because once you watch 1 hour 1 week, then you're like, oh, what's gonna happen next week? It's sort of like a TV show.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think that's smart on their part.
yeah. That's probably the best option that could have gone with, because if you're just going to release a 4 hour movie just right then and there, like you either got to believe that they're going to pause every minute just so that they can go to the bathroom, or you're going to have those rabid bunch that are just going to hold it in the whole time. Like, so, so, um but anyway, back to the teaser. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought it was all right. I was really put off by the sound, like the music they used, because
What did they use? I don't even remember.
it was Hallelujah. I forget the
Oh
artist's
yeah,
name.
yeah. I
It
remember.
it
I
really
wasn't really big on it either.
it put me off because it brought me back to when I first watched Watchmen, Zack Snyder's Watchmen, and
Oh yeah.
if you know the scene that I'm talking about, yeah, that song is playing there, and I mean, as a 9-year-old, it scarred me then, and every time I hear it now, I'm just like, it's just bad memories. But
But yeah, I mean, I think the trailer was, it is what it is. I was just happy they showed something because it just gives us something to look forward to. So
yeah.
that's what I think.
Do you think, just to throw that out there, do you think, like, I mean, we probably all know that it's going to be a better product in its entirety than whatever Joss Whedon put out. But do you think, as a whole, that it's going to be a good movie? Like when
You,
comparing it to the other Zack Snyder DC films.
it surprises me that I even say this, but I don't know that it will because I mean, most people know and most people hate me for it, but I was a pretty big Batman versus Superman fan when it first came out. I wasn't like, oh my god, like angry about it, but I would always say, I really, I'm a huge Batman vs Superman fan, and then I get like shit on by everyone, like it's a horrible movie. But so I thought it was, and now that I look back on it, I still really enjoy watching it. But yeah, it has some pacing issues and some weird plot lines. So I'm afraid that sorry, almost said Joss Whedon's Justice League. Uh,
Joss Whedon's Justice League again.
we rehired him. Um, I'm afraid that Zack Snyder's Justice League is gonna kind of have that same issue where maybe there's a couple different plot lines and you're like following all these different things, and you have to like really be fast paced in your mindset, to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm praying it's not, because come on, if it's 4 hours long, how long can like each plot line be? I mean, obviously they're gonna have to take time on each plot, so you can't just like run into them like it's a freaking crossroad, So yeah. I don't know that it's going to be a better movie. I think it'll be better than Joss Whedon's, but will it be a good movie overall? I don't know. I'm hoping it will.
That's the thing I keep coming back to, because it's just like, yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League, like it's probably going to be better than Joss Whedon's Justice League, but like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still going to be a Zack Snyder DC film, so it's probably going to be like overly dark, and it's going to have some elements in there that are going to be just as perplexing like when you watch Batman versus Superman. So
yeah,
it's hard to really judge at this point, but
yeah, because we don't really know anything about it yet.
So I mean, I'm waiting for when it does release in its entirety to get an idea, watch it and come up with a conclusion.
Yeah, like I'm really curious to see what actual critics say about it, because we know they really hated Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. So I'm curious to see, like, if because this movie was like basically protested to happen, like, will they give it better ratings than it deserves, or will they give it worse ratings than it deserves, or will they justify it?
It's hard to say right now. I mean,
I don't know if Batman versus Superman deserves a 23, but it doesn't deserve like a 90 or even a 70 at that matter. But a 23 is really low.
Yeah.
Even Justice League didn't get that bad of ratings, and Justice League was like so bad.
Yeah, and for that, I'd say critics enjoyed it more than the actual fan base did, because
yeah, it was weird that critics, like, they didn't think it was good, but they didn't think it was like the worst film that Zack Snyder had ever been a part of.
Oh.
But yeah, so that's what I think of it. It's hard to say, like you said, until it actually gets released.
Yeah, I guess we should just group this in along with the teaser. But when day 2 came along, one of the first things that they showed off for the 24-hour, like, I don't know, like, I guess live stream in a sense, but they showed off the theme music for the Snyder Cut, and which is by Junkie XL, who did I think he did both Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, I gave it a listen, and it sounds pretty great. Like, I've loved the theme that they gave for Batman and Wonder Woman in BVS, and I'm sure by the time the Snyder Cut comes out, I'm really going to enjoy Junkie's music. So did you listen to it all? What did you think?
I didn't listen to it all, but I heard a couple tracks.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it because I like him a lot for movie soundtracks.
Yeah, I'd say he really did a great job on the DC projects. I mean, he's a good composer, but I mean, those DC, like that Batman theme is just like, oh, man, I love it.
I know, it's really good.
But overall, for the Snyder Cut, I mean, I'm optimistic about it. I hope it's going to be a good time for the 1 hour episodes I'm going to watch back to back to back.
Me too.
All right. Anyway, Black Adam teaser.
Surprisingly, I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I like Dwayne as an actor. I think.
Me too.
I mean, I like the stuff he's been in. The Fast and Furious movies and a couple other stuff. I feel like with this character, like, this is a great fit for him as an actor. Yeah. And I mean, it was mostly just moving concept art for the teaser, but what was shown off was actually pretty interesting. And
it gives us a unique, like, idea into what they're gonna try and tell in that movie, because I know that he was saying he's been trying to get it made for over 10 years. And that does, to me, that shows the dedication he has invested into this character. So it should make it for a really good experience to watch him kind of like spread his wings and explore what he can do with Black Adam.
Yeah.
And I'm also happy because The Rock, I don't remember what I was going to say, so forget that. I don't even know what I was going to say. But you go ahead. What do you think of it, like, in depth? What were your thoughts?
I thought it was a good teaser. You know, it gave us a great idea of how the movie's gonna play out. You know, we got a look of Kahndaq and also the costume that he was gonna wear. The thing that surprised me though the most was the Justice Society and getting to see them in the Black Adam movie, which I know not a lot of people are familiar with the Justice Society, but I mean,
I
I'm a
was
fan.
pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I'm a fan, and I'm excited to see those characters brought into a movie.
Yeah, because now I feel like they're starting to finally get the gist. Now that it's not all Snyder's vision, they're starting to get a gist of what they can actually do. They have, I mean, DC is like Marvel. I mean, both have so many characters, and Marvel did a great job at like bringing in those characters at the right times. So they have to start doing that, because like it was really felt really weird and slow in the beginning with Man of Steel and BVS. And now we kind of have, you know, we have like a DC film every year. Now, not really, but, you know, it was nice to see, you know, Birds of Prey and what came out before Birds of Prey? Shazam.
Aquaman, like
Aquaman.
I mean, the thing I'm excited for DC most is that they're really, you know, going bold and, you know, trying new things. Like the problem with Snyder, or one of the problems with Snyder that I felt was that, you know, whenever they decide to introduce a new concept like Wonder Woman or Doomsday, is like they didn't really know how to, you know, approach it. Like it's just like it was just weird, like how they did for some of those some of that stuff, like Doomsday especially, like Jesus Christ.
I mean, I felt like Wonder Woman was really like a weird addition to Batman versus Superman. Like the movie could have 100% done it without her, because they just didn't explain why she was even there until like later. Like, I need this hard drive to look at all these, you know, superhumans, basically, is all she was doing.
Yeah, I mean, she's there for like a couple scenes talking about some hard drive, and then you get a teaser of the other members of the League, and then she's just there at the final battle. It's just like,
and like I would have been okay maybe with just like Diana being in it, but then they like brought her in with the battle, which made literally no sense at all. She was just showed up.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I enjoyed her like as Wonder Woman, like,
oh yeah, I love her as Wonder Woman.
Like, it's just that whole final battle, like it was just really weird, especially with her there. Like I would have been really happy if for most of the movie you have no idea who she is, and then by the time she gets the hard drive and looks through, you see the picture of her in like 1940 something, like seeing her with Steve Trevor and the rest of their crew. Like that could have been a really good you know, end credit scene or something.
Right. To know that Wonder Woman, you know, the film was going to come out soon.
Yeah.
And rather than just like, I never thought about that. Like not even knowing who she is the whole movie. And then like you could, for all you know, she could be Selena Kyle or something. And then at the end it reveals that she's Wonder Woman. I think that would have been great.
Yeah. Yeah. That I would have much rather preferred that than like her just showing up in the final battle, which I mean, she fights like Wonder Woman, and but she just kind of felt like out of place. Like they didn't know what to really do with her in that movie, and like they're just like, all right, you're just going to be here fighting with Superman and Batman. Like we'll do a Trinity shot and then whatever. So I mean but yeah, like I mean, I'm excited. Like I enjoyed the Black Adam teaser. I'm excited for DC as a whole in film.
Me too.
Um, uh, yeah. But anyway, to break off from the DC films just for a second,
Mhm.
Titans. You watch Titans at all?
No, I don't actually. Wait, what? I've heard of it. I think I know what it is, but wait. Oh,
Yeah,
it's with it's on CW, isn't it? Or it's Fox.
it was on the DC streaming service. Like
Oh, right. Yeah.
it was
Didn't
supposed to
didn't
be like
Robin
their
become Nightwing now? Isn't
yeah.
he like? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what show it is. I
It's
don't
based.
watch it on regular, but I've seen it before.
I've tried watching it. And it's just I can't get into it. Like
Yeah.
it's basically like dark, edgy, like Riverdale trash.
Like Riverdale.
I can't. I can't stand it. Like they got some really good costumes for like Robin and Nightwing and stuff, but like that's all the show has going for it. Like everything else is just like I do not care about this
Yeah.
whatsoever.
That's the reason I never like really paid much attention to it. I only saw one episode or two at the most, maybe, and I just didn't get invested. Like it's just not my thing. I wish they did something better with it. You know, because I mean, come on, like Dick Grayson, you have a lot to do with him. He's a incredible character who can be used for really good things.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when the actual show does, like when that first season hit, I'm just like, it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, what is that? It's
Right.
just like, it's
Like,
not
what
good
the
at
heck?
all.
Yeah.
And I feel like what I've seen of the second season, like it just gets worse from there. So, so um, I mean, if you're a fan like of Titans, then you know, yeah, it's just I don't know. But anyway, they shared some details for the third season, and apparently the team is moving to Gotham, so that you have a closer connection with Batman, I guess.
Yeah.
He might show up a bit more, or who knows what's going to happen. Barbara Gordon's going to be in the show, which
Yes, that's true.
it's neat. And I think from what I read, she's the police commissioner in this show. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. I mean, that'll be an interesting dynamic, I guess.
Yeah.
Scarecrow is apparently is going to be one of the main villains. I think the other one they said was Blackfire, Starfire's sister, but I might be wrong on that. And then the last thing to mention is that Red Hood is coming on the show. For the last two seasons, Jason was just kind of a part of the team, and I guess at some point he left with disdain towards the other Titan members. So I guess he's going to come back and be Red Hood. And I mean, I don't care about that. I don't care about this as a whole. I really could care less about Titans. I mean, like I said, I tried, but I couldn't get into it. So
it's not really my bag.
Yeah. Next topic, because we've said all we need to say about Titans, but Shazam 2. Finally, they showed off a poster and they revealed what the title of the next movie is. Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Which not a bad title. For the longest time I was like, they're probably just gonna call it like Shazam 2, like just make it real simple. But then when they showed off the new title, I'm like, okay, yeah, that works.
It seems to me like it's a play off of I don't know if you listen to Led Zeppelin at all, but they have a song called The Immigrant Song.
Yeah.
It says in there about the fury of the gods, hammer of the gods, actually, he says. But still, it's like, because they use that for or at least they should have used it. This is totally not anything to do with DC, but Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They used that song, I think. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they used. I always dig it when music plays a role in, like, sometimes they'll use like a line from a song or something to make a movie title.
Yeah, when it's done right, when you integrate music into the story of your movie, and it works really well. Like I want to say the best example that I can remember off the top of my head is Thor Ragnarok was a good, like a really good example of that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Shazam 2. I mean, I enjoyed the first movie. I
Yeah.
think in my personal list of DC movies, I might have enjoyed Aquaman a little bit more, but I mean, I
Mhm.
still enjoyed the movie nonetheless. Zachary
Yeah.
Levi is perfect for Billy Batson, and I mean, I'm excited to see the whole Shazam family again.
Me too.
But yeah, overall, awesome stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Rocksteady,
Oh, well,
that thing,
there's not much to say other than it's coming out in 2022,
2022.
which is a long time. I was not expecting that. I was expecting maybe like late 2021. But that's really a stretch. We're going to be
Yeah,
waiting for a while, so they better be like working on the game and perfecting it and like, release a trailer every like couple months or so, like every
yeah.
6 months maybe.
But yeah, Rocksteady, they fully unveiled. They showed off a trailer for their next project, and it's a Suicide Squad game. But it's not just any old ordinary Suicide Squad game. It's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which
Set in the Arkhamverse,
set in the Arkhamverse,
which makes zero sense to me. but
we'll
they'll make it work probably. They're Rocksteady.
we'll get into that in a little bit. But first I want to talk about the teaser poster that was shown off literally
Oh,
like weeks before the event.
I loved it.
When I saw that poster, like, I mean, it looked great first off, but I see Superman and I see that like little inkling of like laser vision, I'm just like, oh. And then when I watched the trailer, I got a little bit even more worried because he just straight up kills some guy.
See, the thing about that is like everyone was like, "Oh, maybe it's Bizarro," and because like he has like this really weird looking face and his eyes are like kind of purple. And I was like, from the very beginning, the second I saw the poster, I knew it was Brainiac. Like, why would they do that other than that? So I was like, yeah, it's Brainiac. And I started telling all these people, and they're like, no, you're crazy. So we watched the trailer. What is it? Brainiac. And
Right,
it's
the
an
opening
interesting
shot,
move.
like, yeah.
Right. Like the second I saw the ship, I went, man, like I knew this was going to happen. I had the feeling in me that this was going to be it. And it's an interesting move. I mean, it's kind of what happened in Injustice 2. They're pulling in Injustice 2, which is kind of a little bit unoriginal, but I want to see if it actually differs. Like, are all the Justice League members infected by, not infected, but being controlled by Brainiac, or what? Like, how does that work with Batman? When does this take place? Well, it's a continuation, but like how long in the future? And
Yeah, I think
you know,
we should talk about that now. But yes, they did say that this is in the Arkhamverse, and there were a couple things throughout the trailer that kind of, didn't really line up that well with the other games. I think the main one that people think of right off the bat is Deadshot, because
yeah,
if you remember in Arkham City, uh, Deadshot was a white dude.
yeah.
and,
And
and
and the thing is like I was talking to oh god, this was like right after it happened. I was talking to Irogen about it,
yeah,
and I said, I mean, it doesn't matter, in the long run, like, but how are you going to explain it? Like, and his response was, well, Deadshot wasn't a main character, so you can switch it. But like, I mean, technically, Catwoman's not a main character, so are you going to like switch it? Or, but you just have to have a way to explain it, and like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, they're what made me laugh was when the trailer first came out. There were so many people who were trying to redirected. It was like, oh, is this Deadshot's like cousin or something? He's just also named
What?
Dead. Like
Oh my
they were
God,
making up
that's
all
funny.
this. They were making up all this stuff for it, and then they did a little panel for the game, and they showed off like, nope, it's Floyd Lawton. It is Deadshot.
Yeah.
So, it's just like,
That's funny. Is this his cousin? Is
this
it
a
a
cousin? Is
relative?
this a brother? He's also named Floyd, and he's also Deadshot. Like, no. I was a little like confused at when it first was announced, but the more that I've been
Yeah.
thinking about it, and the more that time passes, the more like it doesn't bother me now, because I
No,
mean
it
he
doesn't
wasn't really a
matter.
character in the previous like games, so
No.
if they're gonna retcon like that, then you know what, whatever. Like it
Yeah, I
is what it
mean,
is.
yeah,
Like let them do
exactly.
whatever they want to do.
Right.
But as a whole, like I mean, it's just I don't know how to feel like in this in general. Like it's going to be cool to get an actual Suicide Squad game,
Yeah.
but it's really weird to me that I gotta go murder John Cena in his Superman costume. Um, but I, I'm curious to see more of it. I'm hoping we get gameplay at some point, maybe
Yeah.
early next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Because there wasn't any gameplay with this. It wasn't like Gotham Knights where they had like a
No.
7-minute demo. Like it was just
And that leads me to believe that Gotham Knights is coming out like
fairly soon.
yeah, very soon. Yeah, within the next like I'll say maybe 9 months, 9.5 months. I would think.
Yeah,
And I hope it'll give us something to like do while we're waiting for the Suicide Squad game. But in all honesty, I'm looking more forward to Gotham Knights than I am the Suicide Squad game.
Yeah, me too. Like there was just enough more in Gotham Knights to get me excited about it. Whereas Suicide Squad, like even though it's made by Rocksteady, and they had a pretty good track record with the Batman games.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Arkham Knight, but I mean it's a bold direction, but also a very confusing direction to go in. So
I agree.
I'm hoping that they can pull it off.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's just like goddamn, like they better sell it.
I know.
Yeah. Let's move on to our last topic. This was the last thing they showed off for DC Fandom Day 1. It was probably the biggest takeaway that everybody, like when they watched it, they absolutely loved it, and that was the Batman trailer.
Oh,
the Matt Reeves Batman trailer.
Do you want to? You can comment on this first.
Okay. So, when they showed the poster, the Jim Lee poster, like I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm curious to see what they do with the trailer. And then the moment that trailer starts, and you hear the duct tape being peeled off, I was like, I got to see more of this. I was like, keep playing the trailer, And I mean that the scene where Batman literally just kicks the shit out of that guy. It was like, this is gonna be like 10 out of 10. Like this is gonna be awesome. Like I cannot wait for this.
Yeah.
And it was so surprising to learn afterwards that like that was only like they filmed like only like
25% of the movie.
Yeah, like just a small fidget of the movie.
I was almost like in a state of confusion because I was like, how is that possible? It looks like a finished movie.
Yeah.
Like it's weird.
Yeah, that's how I felt. He was like, that could be released today and like nobody would say otherwise. But the fact that they made a trailer out of, so very little, like that's super surprising.
Yeah.
So I mean, how'd you feel you thinking about because the months leading up to this, we didn't really know what to think about the movie, and then after this trailer hit, how do you feel now moving forward?
Well, I think that judging by the trailer, which was very, it was only 2.5 minutes, but judging that we got a 10 out of 10 trailer, like almost a perfect teaser trailer, I would say this is like what a teaser trailer should be, showing
Not really too much about the plot, but like there's hints here and there. Like we saw Riddler, we saw Catwoman, we saw the GCPD, and we saw Batman. So like, oh, and we saw Penguin for a split second, which just to say that looks nothing like Colin Farrell. So whoever did the makeup, like kudos to you. That's incredible.
That's I didn't really think about it. Like I watched the trailer like another 5 times after that first one, and I'm looking at the Penguin and I'm like, that's Colin Farrell? Like
dude, I
is
didn't know
nothing like
I didn't know it was Colin Farrell for another 2.5 weeks. I'm being serious. Like I didn't hear. I was like, huh? They just randomly show a guy in a car looking at Batman in his rearview mirror, and I was like, who the hell is that? And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh wait, there's an article that says it's Colin Farrell. Holy shit, that looks nothing like him. I gotta rewatch the trailer.
I was like, that's Penguin. Like I was like,
I know,
oh, man,
it's so weird.
It's so weird, but I'm just like, oh
it's
man,
it's so cool that they can do that with a character.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think if we got a trailer that looks this good, then the movie's gonna be like miles better than what with this little snippet that we got.
Yeah, I'm definitely like 100% in at this point. Beforehand, I was a little worried, even though you got a super like an amazing director like Matt Reeves. Like his movies are amazing. If you watch he did a couple of the Planet of the Apes, the recent ones, and they were spectacular. And
they were.
Robert Pattinson, like I was a little worried, like I was a bit iffy at first, and then I watched The Lighthouse, which he did with and I'm like he is a great actor.
That's what turned me over to like have full like confidence in his Batman. I was already like, I was giving him a chance, like, well, you know, the Twilight movies aren't everything, and he was in a couple films like the past 5 years that are like really, really good movies.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna give him a chance. I'll wait until I see a trailer, and then we'll see. And then I watched The Lighthouse, and I went, "Holy shit, this guy can act!"
Yeah.
Like, wow. So yeah, I'm just like you. I mean, I'm sold on it based on it's a great cast, great director, and an interesting approach that I wouldn't have expected. Like, if Affleck made a Batman film, it would have been totally different.
No, it wouldn't. It would be nothing like this. Like it just, I think back on what Affleck's Batman movie would have been like, and I feel like it would have had a lot of the same energy that Snyder put into, BVS. Like that, those scenes in particular with him, like that's how I imagined Affleck's Batman movie. But I mean, what we got out of this tiny 2-minute trailer, and the details from Matt Reeves himself during the panel, like I'm 100% confident that he's gonna pull it off. And if this trilogy thing goes through, like we could have like some movies that'll top even The Dark Knight. Like
I know,
I'm excited.
So am I. Yeah, every time there's a new direction for, like, see, for me the Affleck thing was not a huge new direction because it wasn't Batman movies. It was just Batman being in another movie.
Yeah.
So them actually taking the time to finally put the time into just Batman as a character, I'm really, finally it's happening again. We waited since 2012 for another Batman film. So I'm excited.
The thing that I'm excited about most of all is that they're actually they're really focusing on Batman being a detective, because in the other movies, like, you don't really believe that Bale or Affleck,
even The Dark Knight, he's
like,
not really detective like.
No, it's just a crime thriller with Batman in it. And I'm excited that Batman's actually gonna, he's finally gonna use that moniker of the world's greatest detective, and finally put that in a movie. So overall 10 out of 10 trailer. Can't wait. I wish this was out now. Like,
me too.
I just want to see this. But I think it's coming out 2021.
October
2021. So,
which is nice because it's still set on that. Like, they didn't push it back at all. I mean, it was originally supposed to come out in June.
Yeah,
but at least it was only pushed back a couple months. So
yeah, And
Now, and it's October 1st, so like
I think
like
now
today we
yeah.
have 365 days left.
Mm-hmm. I think
So,
now that I think they're filming, right? They started production back up.
well, what happened was they started, and then Pattinson got COVID like 3 days later.
Yeah.
So they stopped it again, and then 2 days later they restarted it without Pattinson. And I don't know what his deal. I don't know if he's better or not. So
I think,
but I know they're still filming.
I want to say I saw a rumor that he is getting better. I think he's almost recovered, but I don't want to say that's exactly what it is. But I hope he gets well soon, because goddamn,
Me too.
we gotta make that October release date. So, uh, I guess we should rope this in along with the trailer. But Reeves, during the panel, he talked a little bit more about his Batman TV show that was, the GCPD inspired one that's set in, the first year of Batman's career, and all this other stuff. And you and me actually talked about it on the podcast like a couple months ago, and I think back then we didn't know how to feel about it. I mean, we had some confidence due to the fact that it was Matt Reeves' own. Matt Reeves was behind it in some form or fashion. I think he's a producer, but after the Batman trailer, like now it's just like, I want to see more of this world. I want to see this movie. Like I can't wait to see this whole thing shape up and expand.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, the TV show generally, I'm intrigued at that they actually, decided that they wanted to make a TV show. Because it doesn't seem like something that anyone would do, make a show about the GCPD. But I think it's a smart thing for people that like that. I dig it once in a while. Like, there's only so much stuff without Batman in a Batman universe that you can take.
Yeah.
So I'm going to watch it definitely just to explore the characters that we're going to be seeing in the movie. But do I think it'll be a good show? I think it'll be a good show. Mm-hmm. But do I think it'll be like groundbreaking? No.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how I feel. Like at the end of the day, it's going to be a good show, regardless. But it's more like it'll be more along the lines of like it'll be a good appetizer for the movie. Like if you're a fan of that, if you're a fan of Matt Reeves' movie, like you could probably just jump in right in the show and feel just as entertained there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for when it does come out. I don't think they said it would. I think they said it was like still very early in development. I want to but I'm not quite sure on that. But anyway, that was pretty much the end of day one for DC Fandome. They decided to split this off into 2 days, which I forget the reason why, but as a whole, I think day two wasn't as interesting as day one. I feel like day one, it was just like, let's just get all the big stuff out of the way and then kind of leave like the crumbs for like day two. But what do you think? You were there for all the day two stuff, right? You saw all the announcements and whatever.
I actually didn't. I wasn't a part of day two.
No,
because I had something going on, from what I remember. And actually, yeah, I had something going on, but I didn't even hear about day two until the day of because I had been inactive on Twitter for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So I heard about it and I went, damn, I can't make it. And I went, I'm probably not going to miss much. And then I heard like some other stuff on all the topics was released, like different stuff. So I was like, damn, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was pretty much busy that day too, and I didn't really get to experience much of what was actually announced. So most of what I got from day two was just like people talking about it on Twitter, and but yeah, when I was coming up with the podcast, when I was like, all right, I'm starting the podcast back up. I know who I'm going to do it with. I know what we're going to talk about. I tried looking for a list of, all the announcements in order, and I couldn't find any. Like for some reason, the
Yeah.
internet couldn't. They didn't have anything like that. So,
Right.
whatever is on this list that I've written down, it's all just random and pretty much out of order, and it's a mess. But this is pretty much all the big noteworthy stuff, and
Yeah.
it's probably not going to talk about it in depth as much as the other topics. So we'll pretty much just go through a speed run here. So first up on the list, Young Justice season 4 got a title reveal.
Oh, wow.
For season 4, it is now, instead of just season 4, it is now Young Justice Phantoms. And,
Gee, dude, I had no idea. I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I saw they showed off the logo on Twitter, and I watched a bit of the panel, and they were basically saying, yeah, like everybody's working at home, and we're keeping up a good pace and all that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, how do you feel about Young Justice? Do you watch?
Well,
you watch the show, right?
I like Young Justice. I wasn't like a super fan. I know a lot of people like really love that show. I liked it, but I wasn't really as invested in it as I was in Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more of a Teen Titans guy, but I do think it's a good show. I mean, it's a quality show.
Yeah. For me, it's one of those shows where like I try to get into it, like I try to binge it, and then there's always something that's just like I gotta stop watching and just kind of forget about it.
Yep, I know what you mean.
But I'm excited. I mean, I like the show. It's just fine as it is, and it's a good representation of those characters. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to see kind of like a little bit of a darker kid show, something more in line with like Justice League Unlimited or the Batman animated series, like this is I recommend giving it a watch, and you might like it. So anyway, next up we have some info for Batwoman season 2. They talked a little bit on the panel. They didn't really show anything for the new cast member. I forget her name. But yeah, they didn't show anything for the panel, but weeks later, after DC Fandome was pretty much over, they did show off like a little snippet of her costume, which is pretty much, I'd say from the looks of it, it was only just like her head. It looks pretty much the same as the last Batwoman suit. So, I mean, like I was talking to you a couple months ago, like I'm curious to see what they do with it. I'm not really a fan of the show itself, so
me neither.
I tried with the first couple episodes, and I just couldn't get attached to it. So hopefully they go in a better direction, but we'll ask Alter about that by the time the show comes out, because I know he watches it. So maybe he can give us some insight on that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, next up is the Flash TV show. They did a panel for season 7. They also showed off a trailer, which whatever. How do you feel about the Flash TV show?
Well, I think the first couple seasons were really good, and then I think it kind of took like a really bad dive, but then it came back and it got good again. Yeah. But like I haven't given much of my time, at least recently, to the Flash show because I've just been invested in other stuff regarding DC anyway. Mm-hmm. But I think I want to rewatch the show and just get a better feel for it. But I know that I'm not going to like, I think, what was it, season 5? I think I didn't like. I think that was the one that everyone kind of didn't like. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I'm going to give it another chance, but just to kind of like refresh my memory. It's not going to be like something that I'm like a diehard Flash fan of the show anyway, and I have to watch the show. It's not like one of them.
Yeah, for me, like I love the first 2 seasons. I know the second season people don't like it as much as the first, but I enjoy them pretty much equally in terms of
Yeah.
quality. I watched season 3 and I hated every second of it.
Oh yeah, season 3, not 5. Yeah.
I mean, 5 is bad too, but season 3, like it was just fucking boring. That whole season.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're
From
gonna
what I
fight
remember,
another
it was like-
speedster, but it turns out it's just Barry.
Yeah, from what I can remember, it was just like episode after episode of filler.
Yeah,
Like that's what I remember.
it had a good start with Dr. Alchemy, and then as soon as Savitar showed up, it was nothing but like, oh, we gotta stop Savitar from killing Iris, and like, it was just garbage. Like that whole season, it was such a boring, like tedious season. Like I hated every minute of it.
Yeah.
I tried to get into season 4. I watched like the first episode and immediately turned it off because I like it was bad. Season 5 I didn't even watch, but as soon as season 6 started, like they had a new like creative director. I think they was attached to the show. It went in a new direction. You know, the Flash got an actual good costume for once. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it was a good season. I still put the first 2 way above anything that happened in season 6. But actually, you know, I should say that the first half was good. The second half just kind of went off the rails by the end. And season 7, I'm not really excited about. So
Yeah, I'm not too like I said, you know, it's not like something I'm looking like incredibly forward to, but you know, it's coming, so I'll watch it when it comes out.
But the biggest takeaway that for me was during the panel that I think a fan or something like they asked about the boots, the gold boots, and if Barry would at some point wear them, because I mean it's mostly just been the red suit, but that like the season 6 suit is it's just great as it is, and the only thing that I guess fans are there's like we want them gold boots, and it's just
I
like,
love the gold boots.
yeah, I'm excited to see them like come back, and you know, and then we'll actually get the perfect, you know, Flash costume on screen.
Are they actually coming though? Like,
they said it would come at some point. They didn't say exactly when it would be showing up, but the thing that made me laugh was like Barry has to earn those gold boots, and I'm like, Barry already fucking proved himself for like 5 seasons, so
yeah.
Just give him the fucking boots and, you know, leave it at that. End the show. We don't need to do anything after that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not too excited about the next season. I'll try and keep up with it, but
right.
Yeah, I don't think I can devote my time into watching those episodes in full.
Yeah.
Anyway, next topic, Pennyworth season 2. Have you watched Pennyworth? Because I haven't.
I haven't either. I never even I knew about it since last year, I think, but it wasn't something that like caught my attention because it's like a weird variation of Alfred and the Waynes.
Yeah. For me, I remember when it was announced, and then I just remember it again when they announced season 2. So
I guess we don't have much to talk about that show then.
No, but the big takeaway that I've been seeing on the internet is that Martha or Thomas and Martha in the show, and Bruce Wayne is kind of in the show, but he's not really because Martha is pregnant with Bruce. So
okay,
that'll be, I guess, an interesting plot line to go with. Like, I don't know. Like, I think at some point I want to sit down and watch the first season, or at least the first couple episodes, to get an idea of how the show actually is. But at this time right now, I'm like, whatever. Like it's out there. The fans will enjoy it. Who cares? Like, next up, they shed some light on the new Superman show, Superman Lois, which is a spin-off of the Supergirl TV series. You know, they talked about the setting, you know, being in Smallville again, and all that stuff. Apparently he's going to get a new suit, which thank fucking Jesus, because goddamn that suit he has is garbage and I hate it. But I'm I mean, to be honest, like I actually really liked Superman and Lois, their relationship in the CW, like the Arrowverse. Like I really like those characters. I'm just hoping they can make a good show out of it. But what do you think?
I pray.
I pray. But
Let's hope to God.
what do you think of this? Are you gonna watch Superman and Lois, or you just like nah? I don't care.
I'll probably watch it. Like when it gets released, I'll watch the first episode, and if it doesn't catch my interest, then I'll probably wait until the whole season's out and then give my final verdict.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I do hope that suit was god awful, man.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
I really do. Like the only part of it that was good was the fucking Superman logo, and that's it. The rest of it, I'm just like, get it out of here. Like that weird red belt he was wearing, the big red belt and the fucking boots. Like it was just like, God, that's trash. Like get this crap out of here. But yeah, I mean it's cool for him to get a new suit, because I'm sure like he's just like, I don't want to wear this fucking trash. Like, I'm done. Like,
piece of shit. Why would the CW?
He just put that in his contract. He's like, give me a new suit or I'm out of here. Like fuck this shit.
I'm out. You'll have to hire the guy from Smallville.
Yeah.
You'll have to get him back.
Yeah, just get him, because it's like I'm not putting up with this. This garbage. Actually, we should speak on. We mentioned Supergirl.
Yes.
Apparently, that's getting canceled. Like they have one more season. Yeah, they have one more season left. And,
that's interesting.
It's
I'm surprised it's getting canceled, because I didn't think that would ever happen.
Well, I wasn't expecting it to happen so soon after, because Arrow just finished like earlier this year. So I was expecting like, Flash and Supergirl and stuff, like they'd go on for maybe another, 3-4 seasons before.
Yeah.
They did something. But now it's just like, oh, we're going to do this one last thing of Supergirl. And like, that's it.
Wow.
I'm just like, okay, wow. And I think Legends is getting canceled too, if I'm not mistaken.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what they're pretty much saying is like, we're done with the Arrowverse. Like we're just gonna stop. We're done.
Just stop the show.
We'll do shows about the good stuff like Superman and Flash and all that, and we'll just leave we'll just leave Supergirl and Arrow behind.
Oh.
But I mean, I didn't watch Supergirl that much. I tried.
Me neither. I know my some of my family members are into it, but I'm not really.
Yeah, no. I tried the first season. I couldn't get into it. The second season had a really good start with, Superman and, Kara teaming up. But but then after those, that 3 episodes, I guess, is like I just stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I have a general idea of what happens after that. But I'm just not committed enough to sit down and watch Supergirl. Not because I hate Supergirl. Like I like her performance and a couple characters, but it's just like I can't. That show's like just boring to me. So I'm done. Okay. We should just move on to the next stuff because I had a thing here for the Batman, but I think we pretty much said all of what we said about the Batman. Anyway, Doom Patrol season 3 is coming, and it's coming to HBO Max, which it's pretty cool for HBO Max. It's kind of sad for the DC streaming service, because all their shows are pretty much getting taken off of there. Like it's pretty much dead at this point. It's pretty much a failure at this point.
I don't know why anyone would buy it now, knowing that everything's basically going to get transferred to DC. HBO Max eventually.
Yeah, because Doom Patrol is going to HBO Max. They just renewed Harley Quinn, and it's going to HBO Max. And I think even Titans is going to HBO Max. So,
wow,
they literally have nothing going on. They got nothing going on for the DC universe. I mean, besides from the cartoons and all the
Right.
previous stuff you can watch on there, and I guess you can read comics on there. I have no idea, but I mean, I don't live in the States, so
Yeah.
I have no idea what you can do on that app aside from watch TV shows. But yeah, it's pretty much dead. Like we I mean, we kind of figured with all these shows moving to another platform, like it's done. It's failed. They don't care. They don't care about it anymore. And then the last thing to talk about, the one that caught my attention because of just how strange it is and kind of interesting, DC Super Pets, the animated movie about DC Super Pets like Crypto and Ace and whatever. Thoughts?
It's such an odd thing to even like bring up at DC Fandome for them.
It's so
yeah,
weird.
We're releasing Super Pets, guys.
Yeah, we're just going to do an animated movie all about flying dogs. And
maybe if I was 6, I'd be like really invested in it, but those days are over.
Yeah,
I'm probably actually just the child in me is going to watch it just to be a child again.
Yeah,
but I'm probably not going to like love the show or anything.
No. I laughed because when I saw the announcement, I knew some executive at DC was just like, we gotta have something for the kids. Draw up Crypto flying and say we're making a movie about it. Like, do it. I mean, I'll probably watch it. I don't think I'm gonna go to the theater, but it's something to.
No, I'm not gonna go to the theater.
It'll be something to check out, like late at night on a streaming service when I can't sleep. It's like, I'll just watch Super Pets.
Yeah,
but I mean, it is kind of interesting because they haven't really done a whole lot with Crypto in media. I mean, he had his own cartoon show for a season, but it didn't really take off anywhere. And I mean, he's on Titans, but he doesn't really do anything there. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad that he's getting some mainstream attention, and it might actually be a really fun movie for the kids. But that's pretty much it for DC Fandome. Just to get into final thoughts, like I said earlier, day one was pretty much great in its entirety. A lot of great announcements, a lot of good trailers, and info.
A lot of hype too.
Yeah.
Everyone was super excited about it. Even non-DC fans and people who weren't comic fans were like, "Oh wow, this is like a world event."
Yeah.
It was a good time when everybody came together.
Yeah, it was really interesting seeing how many people on Twitter and social media talking about a 24-hour live stream of just nonstop DC content.
Right.
I like I mentioned, day one pretty much had all the best stuff, and day two was just literally all the scraps and the stuff that nobody really paid attention to. But it makes me wonder though, why even split it off into 2 days? Like they could have just fit
I don't know.
They could have just fit everything in one day. Like it was a 24-hour live stream, and a lot of it was just repeats. So I guess you just could have put whatever panels and stuff you had planned for day two. And I mean, it's on the internet anyway, so it's like nobody's really missing out on anything. But I think once day one happened, everybody was just kind of like what an amazing time. And then as soon as day two came around, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was like not bad, but it was just not the amount of intensity that day one was.
No, it's just it didn't really have that gravitas that day one had. But I mean, some kind of noteworthy stuff happened.
Yeah.
Nothing really too spectacular for day two. But that's pretty much everything. We're literally at the end of the list. I got nothing else to say. DC. But overall, I'm excited for all the movie stuff. I'm excited for the games I'm interested in. There were some comic stuff that I didn't put on the list. But
Yeah.
but like stuff like Three Jokers, I'm really excited to see more of. The second issue I think just came out yesterday, and
Yeah.
that series, like that first issue, like it was so fantastic. Like Jeff Johns really did an incredible job on that, and I'm excited
Yeah.
to see what he does with this idea that has been kind of just looming around the DC offices for like 5 years. So but yeah, that's it. We're done. We're ending it off here.
That's it, everybody.
Yeah. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment. Would you comment below what you thought of DC Fandom? Be sure to check out my other videos. And by other videos, I mean like one. Check out the Arkham Asylum review if you haven't already.
Wait, is this going on your new channel?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Check out the Arkham Asylum video. I'm working on the Arkham City video, so hopefully we get it out soon. But who knows what's going to happen with that? I hope it's soon. It'll probably be out later than intended, but it'll be out when it's out. But anyway, I want to thank Swfte here for joining me. Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter, and you can find me at my Swfte YouTube channel, which has been inactive for a while now because there's not really anything coming out. So I got to think of some video ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can find me on Twitter. That's about the only social media I have for my Swfte stuff. So yeah.
I'll be sure to put a link in the description for both your Twitter and your YouTube channel. Even though there hasn't been much stuff, like there's still some really good content that I recommend you watching. So click those links and get on that shit.
That's one way to tell people how to do it.
Yeah. I'm not I'm more blunt than anything when it comes to, my subscribers, but
yeah.
But anyway, we'll tune in next week. Hopefully there will be another episode of the podcast. I gotta figure out what the topic is and who I'm talking to about that topic. So, but yeah, I just want to say have a great night. Thank everybody for watching, and take care of yourselves. See ya.
Peace out.